Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how are you today?
Apparently having a coughing fit. Jesus.
Wow.
Came out of nowhere.
That is the best intro we've ever done.
Oh, man. Wow.
Alive, I'm hoping.
Sort of.
Sort of. A little.
Mostly.
Okay. He's only mostly dead.
No, mostly alive. I'm only partially dead inside.
Mostly void, partially stars. So, well, I'm glad you're alive to be with us after that. So that's,
Consummate professionalism right there.
Yes,
always.
We are
saving the cough until after we start recording. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, got to save them talking points. Like coughing.
Yeah, like Mike dying.
Maybe I'll fart later.
Ooh. Everybody stay tuned. That could be coming up. And we also have Mr. David.
I'll save that for the premium content.
Ooh, Patreon bonus content. The fart tapes. I'm already ready to end this podcast. All right. Mr.
I thought
David
you were going to say
Davis.
I'm already rock hard.
Yeah, I am. No. We also have Mr. David Davis. David, how are you today?
I am doing well. It is Friday the 13th, so remember to leave your campers out by the lake.
Yep.
For Jason.
Yep. Don't forget to leave your hockey mask hanging on the tree and leave out, I don't know, I guess some beans for him.
Yeah, he seems like he would eat beans.
Yeah, no, just straight up like Beanie Weenie out of the can. Him and Mothman should get together and have a party.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. So, let's see what we got at the top of the show. First off, we have a new patron, same as the old patron. The return of King of the Podcast, David Holyfield, is our new patron. And thank you, David, and thank you, Holly, for being our two patrons. If you would like to join us, we have got some new content on the way. Head over to supernatpod.rocks, click the Patreon link, or head to patreon.com/ I think it's supernatpod.
It was a new patron, same as the old patron.
Won't be fooled again. And, we also have no new reviews on Apple Podcasts, but I don't think people are really using Apple Podcasts as much as they used to.
Yeah, and I feel like people don't, review these things as much anymore, either.
Unless you're pissed off at us.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I guess that means we need to give them a reason to be pissed off. And this week, we're going to be talking about the concept of phantom black dogs.
I have just the joke that's going to set off, half the population, so we're good.
Oh, good. Perfect. I'm literally glad. So, sources this week. On mine, David, you added some research yourself. Mm-hmm. My sources are Unexplained, Strange Sightings, Incredible Occurrences, and Puzzling Physical Phenomena, 3rd edition by Jerome Clark. Jerome Clark. English is a good language. Published in 2013. This is, of course, the 3rd edition of what I consider my paranormal Bible. So, it's a cool thing. I also actually used the Wikipedia article on the black dog folklore. We're also using Britain's Black Dog Legend from davidcastleton.net, and Devil Dogs, the Mysterious Black Dogs of England from modernfarmer.com. There will be links to all this in the show note document, so, you can find that in the description or on our website. Now, before I really launch into this topic, I really want to broach the subject of a book that I got on Kindle about this, thinking, hey, I've got Unexplained. I can look up stuff online. I want to get a book, like a whole damn book about this. I'm not going to say the name of the book, because nobody in their right mind is going to buy this. But if you're writing a book on, say, phantom black dogs, maybe in each chapter, don't say, in the next chapter, we're going to discuss it. And then in the next chapter, you say, in the next chapter, we're going to discuss it. And then in the last chapter, you don't discuss it.
Okay.
I got a book about phantom black dogs that doesn't talk about phantom black dogs. So, please, don't be a dick.
Well, speaking of dicks, it's like naming your book after a whale and not having him show up until 130 chapters in.
Ooh, that's a burn.
Well,
It's a deep literary burn there.
I do love that book. Don't get me wrong. I read it like once a year, but yeah, it takes like 130 chapters for the fucking whale to actually show up.
Well, that's how you do a horror movie, isn't it?
that's just the build-up.
That's fair.
Yeah, good build-up, yeah. So
he just kept kicking that can down the road, huh?
and then he lost the can.
And someone took the can and replaced it with, like,
A
an
landmine.
acorn.
Maybe it was the black dog that took it.
Ooh,
yeah.
I wish. So, obviously, this week we're going to talk about Phantom Black Dogs. So, guys, what do you know about Phantom Black Dogs?
Their coloring,
Okay.
their genus,
Yes.
and that they don't exist.
That is very on
I was
brand.
mostly going on the Phantom part.
Yeah,
but,
okay, fair. I was going to say it's very on brand for you.
But
I was
also-
going to say they sound like a mercenary group from a Metal Gear game.
That's true. Or like, it's like Metal Gear, the Phantom Black Dog. So, the Phantom Black Dog's origins are sort of lost to the sands of time.
It's probably one of those, time immemorial things. It's just it's a concept that's been around for so long.
It is.
It probably
And-
has to do, with like wolves when you're huddling around the campfire and they're howling.
Werewolves of
distance.
London. Yes.
You're scared because,
Is a wolf.
you're a cave person.
Yeah.
Not even cave person.
Well,
but
episode's done. Good job, everyone.
Yep, that's it. We're all right. Yep. No, what we do know is that the lore seems to originate from the UK. There is some debate on whether it came from the Scandinavian or French settlers, conquerors, whatever. Because, the UK has been conquered a lot. Mm-hmm. But England specifically, nearly every county in England has a legend of a black dog or black dogs. And a bulk of the cases this week that we're going to talk about are from England, with the rest coming from the American South and the East Coast.
So, did the dogs fight in the Revolutionary War as well?
That's very possible. I could see that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of questions about that, and I kind of feel like this sort of thing is honestly going to go all the way back to early mankind, but the black dogs are often referred to as guardians of the threshold due to their nature. They tend to be found along ley lines, rivers, roads, or places associated with death, such as gallows and churches and graveyards.
Or like that bump in the road, or over there where Junebug like threw up that one time.
Okay, I realize that it does sound like they're associated with
any
anything, but they've been sighted around fairy mounds as well. I'm not helping my case. So basically anywhere that could be seen as a border between one place and the next, whether it's the afterlife, Tiernanog, the next county, whatever it is, you can usually find a black dog.
So people like to compartmentalize, so we can put borders around anything.
Yes, but
like I saw that black dog between my neighbor's property and the next property.
Well, that I think what Kevin's getting at here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's more about like transitional, like liminal states where
Yes, the term
there's some sort of
liminal
emotional
states.
or psychological or magical sort of association.
yeah, for the most part, except for the whole, border of the county thing.
Well, actually, it could be it. Like if you take like Civil War states,
Sure.
like
Sure.
places where there could be a lot of death. Just spitballing here.
Yeah. Again, liminal. That's the word I forgot to use.
But the problem is most of those things are just man-made.
Sure, but so is the phenomenon.
They're only things we give importance to.
Well, houses are man-made and they still get haunted.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that if it's important to us, why would it be important to something that we don't understand?
Because
other than we assign it that importance.
this is getting into the whole, relationship between humanity and the phenomenon, and I feel like we do need to go into that again at some point. But we'll put that off for another day.
Look, my podcasting juice is pretty low, so I'm going to be very opinionated about this.
You need to get some more podcast juice. I
No, I
It's
don't
one of
think I need
those
more.
Mike episodes.
It's going to be an episode where I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit.
Yeah, no, probably. Now, here's a question that I'm sure both of you are asking. What makes a phantom black dog different from just seeing your neighbor's Great Dane?
Because it was dark and you thought it was black.
Now, first off, actually, Mike, there's the size of the thing.
Which is very fungible, but go ahead.
I know there are big dog breeds like Mastiffs and, like I said, Great Danes, but
Well, and then there's also that shirt brand, Big Dogs, as well. We
Oh,
take
yeah.
that into account.
Well, what about Big Johnson? Remember, I know I was in high school, like, everyone thought having a Big Johnson shirt was like the peak of fucking, sly humor.
Now, how many
Remember that,
decades ago
Kevin?
was that?
I
That was a
remember-
lot of decades for us.
That was
before your time.
That was like
probably.
30 years ago, Mike. And
Yeah.
Is
somebody
Big
came
Dogs
in
too
the store.
contemporary? Because that's old for me.
Look, somebody came in the store wearing one of those, and I was like, "Oh my god, that should be in a museum."
We need
Yeah,
to bring him
you're-
back and just make him
No.
ridiculously offensive.
Oh, he already was, but still.
Oh, fantastic.
Now, I know there's big dogs, like I said, like the Mastiff and the Great Dane. But we're talking about a dog the size of a cow or a pony sometimes. Something so exceedingly huge that it leaves the realm of normal human experience. A vast majority talk about a dog of an indeterminate breed the size of a calf.
Well, that sounds like more belly to scratch to me.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
But you don't know that size. You unless you're within like touching distance of this phantom black dog.
Oh,
you
people
can
are going
never
to get
really-
touched. People are going to get touched. We'll get there.
Yeah. Now, second are the eyes. Now, we're all familiar with animals having very reflective eyes at night. Now, the BPD, which I know sounds like a bureau, but the phantom black dog's eyes glow with, they always say, an inner fire, often
I mean
red.
the PBDs,
What did I say?
BPD.
Damn it. I'm probably thinking about peanut butter.
You're thinking of the Boston Police Department.
Oh, you're right. Well, the PBDs, the phantom black dogs, their eyes glow with an inner fire, red, orange, or yellow.
Now, are you both dyslexic? Because Mike just said the Boston PD is PBD.
No, I said
No.
BPD would be
Well,
Boston
when
Police
you
Department.
listen to the episode, you'll hear it.
But I said back, but it was PBD was what he's
Right.
supposed to say.
Okay, you'll hear it, and then you'll kick yourself.
I feel like this is chaos.
Look,
but nonetheless,
Look, I've
the
had
black
wrong.
dogs are
I
running
have
in
an
action.
excuse.
I'm tired and just took something that makes me dizzy for the infection, so that's my excuse. But
Woo!
the eyes of the animal are always commented on, even if there is no light source.
Well, if there's no light source, they couldn't see the dog.
We're about to get to that in a minute.
There's always a light source.
Third, they seem to have an intelligence that goes beyond your typical canine. They have a territory they stick to. They
Dogs do that.
Stare at you with a look that seems to convey more than just a dog looking at an intruder.
The dogs do that.
Ruff, got any treats?
Nobody's ever tried to give the dog a treat.
They should.
Yeah, they should. If you run into a phantom black dog, have a milk bone with you. So, fourth, they're ethereal. I can't tell you how many of these reports I've seen of people trying to hit a PBD with a stick, and it just passes through it like a ghost. And when they reach the edge of the area they're guarding or haunt, they just vanish.
Have you ever tried to hit a dog?
Yeah,
They're pretty wily.
I've hit a dog.
Well, it doesn't help that they're violating the fundamental dogma by not throwing the stick to play fetch. So no wonder it doesn't work.
Dogma.
You did say dogma.
Oh, I've got a couple of these in there.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We've got jokes on top of jokes. Yo, I'll put a joke in your joke so you can joke while you joke. How old's that reference?
I was in high school when that was going on.
Holy God. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Somebody give me my Geritol again. And lastly, this is a question I know you're both thinking.
Or Mike just asked.
They're visible in pitch black. The nighttime reports always say that no matter how dark the night is, the dog is always blacker. It seems to be a hole in the night itself.
I don't think these people are stumbling around in the absolute pitch black, not being able to see anything.
Depends on when.
Yeah, that's why that was my point earlier, is that it's not completely pitch black. Otherwise, these people are not like moving around.
I'm having a wonderful time right now.
Yeah.
I am ready to pull my hair out. No. So the dog's known to have different behaviors, and we'll go into specific stories in a bit, but they are sometimes seen as guards that frighten away people or attack them to keep them away from specific location, guides that will keep people from taking the wrong path, or omens of coming doom.
And in those cases, I'm like, how do they know? How do they know they didn't take the wrong path?
Well, they lived.
So, what if they were supposed to die?
Well, the dog kept it from happening.
Or revisionist history.
David, you got to chime in on this?
Nope. I'm just enjoying myself here.
God damn it.
Well, no, actually, yeah, like, it sounds like, to me, it's like spooky dooky versions of dog behaviors. Like with a lot of cryptids, I always find that there are cryptids that are basic animals running at 200%, and I find it fascinating.
Yeah, okay, no, I fully get that. But I am going to ask y'all to open your minds a little.
Oh, my mind's already open.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, yours is gaping. Mike, on the other hand, has a tightened sphincter of a mind.
Hey, look, I have rum in me. My mind's as open as possible.
Okay, that's fair.
But
he can handle about two fingers deep.
I don't think you're going to convince me that there's such a thing as, spirit dogs that are like just have your best interest at heart.
Sure, but roll with it. So, the black dog is known by many names from different areas. Now, some of these are, and I love all of these, Hairy Jack, Padfoot, Skriker. Sure.
Is that like from the next generation of Star Trek?
No. That's it's from Lord of the Rings. Churchyard Beast, Shug Monkey.
That's a completely different thing, I think.
Capelweight, the Mody Doo or Mouthy Doog.
Doogs, you like dogs?
You like Doogs? Hateful Thing.
See, if these things, that's the thing, is that these people are saying they're good, but then they got these names like
a lot of
Hateful
them
Thing.
aren't, but
you said a lot of them, but everything you said so far has shown them as in a good light.
Swooning Shadow, the Bogey Beast, and Guy Trash. There's a couple of specifically named ones, but I'll get going into those a little bit later.
Tag yourself, guys. I'm Guy Trash.
Oh, dude, I am so the Bogey Beast.
I guess I could be Shug Monkey.
Yeah, you were totally Shug Monkey. I love that.
Excuse me.
Now, this is where I'm going to jump in a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So, Kevin and I tag team these things sometimes. So, I do want to come in and add a couple things, if I may. I'm pulling from an article titled The Black Dog, Origins and Symbolic Characteristics of the Spectral Canine from the journal Cultural Analysis, published in September of 2020.
You and your literary references.
This is from author Adam Zmarlinski, maybe.
Let's go with that. Smarlinski?
Smarlinski. Okay. So this is some stuff that I'm kind of pulling from the essay, but mythologically speaking, we should probably also mention figures such as Anubis, Cerberus, and Fenrir. And I am using like jackals and wolves interchangeably here a bit, but for our purposes, they are black dogs that signify doom or serve as guardians of the threshold, and these things are in a lot of cultures. So,
yeah. No, go ahead.
So what do we remember about like Anubis, Cerberus, and Fenrir?
Well, Anubis is a black jackal-headed man from mythology. He was the guardian of the way to the underworld. Cerberus was a giant multi-headed black dog that was a guardian of
the underworld.
And Fenrir, I thought Fenrir was going to eat the sun.
Which, creates like an eternal night.
Sure.
Which is also part of a passage to the underworld, and it's a form of transition through Ragnarok and that sort of thing. So there's definitely a pattern here.
Right.
Like, there's a cultural pattern. There's also this connection
to
trickster...
equal death.
Yes.
Yes. There's also this connection to trickster entities as well, which we'll see in some of the stories that you're going to mention later, Kevin. The author of the text I'm working from here mentions how common symbolic nature of the black dog is in literature and psychology, so I'm just going to quote him right here. Sure. Quote, "The black dog is a folktale staple drenched with folklore, hence it is only appropriate to adhere to the popular retellings. All theoretical works, such as Gerald Franks' Loki's mythological functions in the tripartite system, Michael Haas's Nietzsche and Freud, questions of life and death, or Marino Warner's Once Upon a Time, are all meant to enhance and illuminate the ancient symbolism of Cerberus and Fenrir, and also provide a thematic mirror to that of the black dog, reflecting its past and the present while forecasting its future. The works of Freud, The Uncanny, or Civilization and Its Discontent, or Jung, Man and His Symbols, or Modern Man in Search of a Soul, are meant to enrich the connection between the dog's symbolism and the trickster archetype in the age of cultural chaos." So, I know that's kind of dense. It's mentioning a bunch of stuff, but there has been a lot that has been written about the kind of mythological implications of black dogs as a culture, and the fact that it's popping up independently in all of these different civilizations is absolutely fascinating.
And I'm glad you mentioned Jung in there because, this all kind of goes back to the idea of an archetype.
So, while figures such as like Fenrir and the Jackal are not exactly the black dog that we're kind of discussing here in this episode, I think it bears mention because the associations to the black dogs, like there's almost a cultural memory thing going on here.
Right.
So,
Trickster Coyote in the Native American myths.
Yeah, and and it comes up with what Mike was talking about earlier. I think that one can make a reasonable argument that we are wired to be uneasy around black dogs as they evoke predation from our, early hominid days. And even if we've tamed dogs to a large degree, the trickster element may be this kind of like doubt or suspect of our mastery over nature. So that's some of the symbolism that I'm seeing associated with that dog, and that paper goes a long way to talk about a lot of this.
Good. I'm glad you brought this up. This is a whole aspect I thought about mentioning and just did not get around to. And, it really is something in our minds. Like, I don't know. It's like, yes, we have tamed dog, but, I've been chased by a lot of dogs.
Yeah, I've had my bad experience with dogs. I love dogs, don't get me wrong, but like I've had moments where like dogs have scared the shit out of me.
All right, yeah. So let's talk about some tales of the black dogs.
Excellent.
Mike, you ready?
Okie dokie.
All right, like I said, a lot of these are from the UK, and let me tell you, there are a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some are more famous than others. To quote the Wikipedia article, and I quote, "On Dartmoor in southern Devon, the notorious squire Richard Cabell was said to have been a huntsman who sold his soul to the devil. When he died in 1677, black hounds are said to have appeared around his burial chamber. The ghostly huntsman is said to ride with black dogs. His tale inspired Arthur Conan Doyle to write his well-known story, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Now, I want to know what made Richard Cable so notorious as a squire. Was it because he sold his soul, or was he already a guy with a reputation?
Actually, let me tell you, he was a rapist, a murderer, and possibly a cannibal.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, and then he sold his soul to the devil. Yeah, always do your background research, boys.
He's always trying to one-up himself there.
Yeah, no, pretty much. It's like, what can I do that's worse?
Well, it's rare for me to be genuinely shocked, but, like, that one really got me. Bring out the cannibal rapist, I'm like, just Jesus.
Cannibal murdering rapist, yeah, there you go.
Well, I think cannibalism involves murdering as well most of the time.
I don't know, what, you just find them.
Okay, that's fair. I just think the murdering here is redundant. Of the three, I think that... Yeah, oh, okay, anyway.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think about that? Murdering cannibal rapist.
He's probably racist, too.
Dogs. Yeah, no, totally.
He is British.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
Another famous story, though, and I think all of us here know this story. The story of blues musician Robert Johnson, who made a deal with the devil and his black dog at a crossroads here in Mississippi for his talent as a blues guitarist. In fact, he said in one of his songs, "I have to keep on moving. There's a hellhound on my trail."
So yeah, I've done a weird amount of reading on Robert Johnson, and I think he deserves an episode of his own.
You know, if we do that, we also need to bring up Tommy Johnson, who had the same story and is no relation.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, and I also heard about him quite a bit from my interest in music, but he's also like a fundamental component to the book Reservation Blues. Have you ever read that book?
I have not.
Excellent book, but it really tuned me into some of his more supernatural aspects of his career. And yes, I went for the pun there.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
So where was the crossroads? Let's go there and make our own deal.
Here's the thing. I don't know where it is, but I want to say it's on the Mississippi Blues Trail. There's a marker.
Of course there is.
Of course there is. So, now those are two of the more interesting just ones there, but we're going to talk about the big one. This is a story I've known actually for quite some time, and it's the story of East Anglia's Old Shuck.
Oh, shucks. Oh, goddamn
it. Or Black Shuck, depending on who you talk to. But this is going to get real specific here. It was August 4th, 1577. Let's start that one over. On August 4th, 1577, in the town of Bungay, outside of Norwich.
Bungay? Really? Britain is not a real place.
I swear to God.
I don't believe in Britain at all.
I don't either. I have a feeling it's
British
just
people
like,
don't exist. They're all just Muppets.
Yeah, no. It's all a clever ruse from the Jim Henson Creature Shop.
Britain? No. Too silly.
Too silly. A church service was going on in Bungay, and a violent storm was raging, and the parishioners were more than happy to be inside the house of God and safe. Suddenly, the door to the church bursts open, and standing in the doorway was a massive black dog with bristles like a boar and the size of a calf.
What's its bristles? Were they as big as a calf?
No, he was as big as a calf.
Okay.
Yes. Its eyes were glowing like embers from the pit of hell. Everyone looked on in confusion and not a little fear until the beast ran down the aisle and proceeded to kill 2 people, including a young boy. The onlookers were terrified by the demon dog and couldn't do anything because of fear until it ran back out into the storm.
Now, I'm just seeing this meme in my head of the two like huge arms are meeting together. Their hands are clasped.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
One bicep
one
reads black dogs, the other reads pit bulls, and then in the middle where they meet, it's mauling children.
Not that we have anything against pit bulls.
No, I love pit bulls, but yeah.
Yeah,
like,
no, I've
again,
met
it's the
some
first thing that
super-friendly
popped
pit
into my
bulls.
head, and I'm a terrible person. So
Yeah, no, that's okay. I am too because I laughed at it.
What I'm hearing is a dog that was, or maybe some kind of large mastiff, out in the rain, scared as hell. The wind happened to blow the doors open, and it ran inside, and I don't know.
Mauled two people.
I mean, it was scared as fuck. It didn't know what the fuck was going on.
how old is the Mastiff breed?
Oh God, the
Pretty
Mastiff
old.
breed is like
It's
the first
one of
dog.
the first dogs. Yeah, all other breeds
Like,
kind of descend from the
is
Mastiff.
basically, what we turned wolves into when we first started domesticating them.
All right.
Oh,
Mike.
okay, I'm looking at the American Kennel Club. The Colossal Mastiff belongs to a canine clan as ancient as civilization itself. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
like 15 to 30,000 years old.
Okay.
So, all right, Mike, that's fair. But explain this. 7 miles away in Holy Trinity Church in Blytheburg, shortly afterwards, what may have been the same dog burst into the service, killed 2 men and another young boy before again running back into the storm.
That maze doing a lot of heavy lifting because no person was in 2 places at the same time.
Ingo Swan could have been.
Well,
That's
yeah,
true.
but he wasn't.
If I asked listeners to take a shot every time they heard a stupid town name, our episodes involving Britain would be Lethal Weapons.
Goddamn.
That's
yeah.
really true. Now, I may be like you, Mike, and have written all this off as early forms of yellow journalism, but the fact that both accounts were written by witnesses in the churches after talking it over with everyone, whether they wanted to talk about it or not, says a lot. And I can't imagine any money was made by this.
Well, no.
And even the author says, this sounds completely insane, and I would not blame anyone for not believing it. And
I mean, coincidences happen all the time.
sure, but old Shuck still haunts East Anglia. He's a violent, vicious spirit. He's seen so often on a local lane that it's actually called Black Shuck Road. And let me tell you, they don't go there at night.
I would.
Of course you would.
So the collective reluctance of a community not wanting to talk about something is always like super off-putting. Like,
Right.
not even just supernatural stuff either, but there are instances of like towns where people just don't talk about some of the fucked up shit that went on years ago. And I've lived in a couple of these towns, and the vibe is like super icky. So for them to come together and talk about this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, out in Pulaski, there's some stuff they still don't talk about involving the sheriff and my family, and that's all I'm saying. So, yeah. But, now, that is... I've known about that attack for a long time, because I thought it was really interesting.
Okay, Mike, so are you convinced yet?
Oh, sure, yeah, of course. Spirit black dogs coming and killing people for no reason. Makes sense to me.
Dude, that's a Thursday.
I'm holding my thumb up like,
Otay.
Otay.
Yes.
Hey, that's racist.
No, we're referencing Eddie Murphy.
Oh, true.
Okay. Now, here's one from davidcastleton.net about Church Grimm, and I have gone ahead and posted this as a quote because I'm going to let him tell the story about Church Grimm. Legends from Britain and Scandinavia state that certain churchyards are haunted by a Church Grimm, a spirit that usually appears as a large black dog. Rather than being a malevolent entity, the Grimm protects the churchyard from all who would desecrate it, including vandals, witches, warlocks, thieves, and even the devil.
Now, what about shooting Ramon's videos?
Nobody is going to attack Joey Ramone. Look at him. I'm just saying. I'm not attacking Joey Ramone. Hell, I always felt like if I had met Joey Ramone, he needed a hug.
Oh.
So, a tradition, apparently, once maintained that the first spirit of the first person to be buried in a churchyard would be tasked with guarding it. In Scotland, the last person buried in a cemetery would have to be its guardian until a new interment took place. To save the spirits of the departed from these onerous duties, a large black dog will be buried either in the churchyard or in the foundations of the church itself, especially under its cornerstone. Some say the black dog's ghost tolls the church bell at midnight on the eve of the death of a local resident. During the funeral service, the clergyman might spot the grin staring out from the church tower, and from the dog's behavior, be able to tell if the deceased will go to heaven or hell. The church grim is also associated with stormy weather. Though normally manifesting as a black dog, the grim has been known to take the form of a horse or pig.
So I do have a couple things here. First of all, hashtag dogs with jobs, anybody? But yeah, that's a real shitty deal for the dog.
It really is.
Or some poor schmuck that just got buried.
Yeah, either
Right.
way.
What if he's like really irresponsible?
What's that?
Which one?
I heard you, Mike. David, what'd you say?
Oh, I don't care about people. I just care about the dog.
Oh, yeah, no. Fuck people?
Yeah, fuck people.
I'm going to remember that.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping you're fucking people, not dogs.
Yeah, okay, fair. That's
Fair.
disgusting. Let's move on.
But, you know, also, like, when you talk about, like, the form of horse or pig, the transmutation of animals is pretty common in witch lore, especially if we're dealing with writings from the trials. So I'm not saying that there's, like, this is, like, a one-to-one relation. I do think there's this interesting idea between the guardian spirit taking on different forms, just as the devil, like, takes on the form of goats, crows, dogs, and cats for those accused of witchcraft. Something about the transformational impermanence in the spiritual realm when it comes to animals.
Right.
Specifically, though, I had to pull a book off of my shelf when I was going through the outline. One case I'm thinking of was in the 1566 trial of Elizabeth Francis. She is alleged to have sought metamorphosis powers, one of which was transfiguration into a black dog, but such transfiguration is also kind of independent from the type of black dogs we're talking about. And then referring to Zimmerlinski's essay, which I've referred to earlier, he points out that these examples have a thematic association with the thing while not quite being of the thing, which I find very interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to throw that in there because I did see
Sure.
some connection there with that transmutation of animals, which, again, like, there's, you know, we could also be getting into werewolves here a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Mike, have you ever seen a dog turn into a horse?
Never.
Really? Okay. Well,
Dogs stay dogs, horses stay horses.
well, what if a dog, like a phantom black dog, turned into that horse lamp you wanted? Like it's a big black horse, but it has a lamp sticking out of its head.
I mean, could I plug its ass into the wall and make it light up?
Sure, it's a ghost. You can do whatever you want.
Sure, okay, whatever. I don't care if it started out as a black dog.
Yeah, okay. I got a cool ass lamp. I gotta feed it.
It's a phantom dog. I don't have to feed shit.
That's true. It's a ghost dog.
What is it going to do, die again?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so
Sorry about that. I'm just the visual of the dog turning into this very upset lamp. This afterlife fucking sucks, Ruff Ruff.
And do the phantom dogs start out as just normal dogs? They don't go to heaven like all other dogs?
I don't think they were ever living well, except for the ones in the churches. I don't think they were living dogs.
Well, if all dogs are good boys, can you have bad boys?
I don't know. I'm curious what we rate dogs would say about a phantom black dog. I don't know. This is the first one we're going under. This is the first one we're doing under 10.
Like 6 feet under? Anyway,
Yes.
So I do have a couple of short encounters worth mentioning. I'm gonna again, this is quoting from Zimmerlinski, but he's quoting the writer Theo Brown from a 1958 article titled "The Black Dog."
Can I interrupt you real quick? Is this Theo Brown or Theo Beer? Because I saw a lot of reference to a Theo Beer that did research on black dogs.
For me, this is Theo Brown.
Okay, interesting. A lot of Theos with black dogs.
Yeah, something about Theos and
say
black dogs. I don't
They're
know.
all theories.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
that's theologically awful.
So, again, quoting Zimmerlinski, who is in turn quoting Theo Brown, quote, domesticated animals sense the creature's presence. Brown notes that horses and dogs are terrified when they see a black dog. In Willowton, Lincolnshire, a little dog was terrified by a ghost dog which, to the human being present, was not seen but felt. A case from France describes a series of black dog visitations in a house, culminating in 2 police dogs being set at it when it was invisible to humans. One dog was cowed, the other died from the encounter.
Are you telling me a dog died of a heart attack because it saw a ghost dog?
That's what the quote seems to be saying, or at least implying. Curious though that in both these cases the dog was not seen, but it was felt, or like its presence was made aware.
Like there was a menace in the room, and these dogs just they had a shit fit.
Yeah, well, when we talked about that last week, when we talked about, like the way animals react to things, right?
Sure,
just making you uneasy. But I'm curious, like, if you can't see the ghost dog, how do you know the ghost dog is there?
How did they know it was a ghost dog?
Right? It could just be someone smells real bad.
What if it was a ghost giraffe?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So another
Could have been a class 4 non-corporeal entity.
Ooh, we're pulling out Tobin's spirit guide here. Nice. Somebody called Dan Aykroyd. So here's another one, a little more recent than the 1500s. In April 1972 at Great Yarmouth, everybody get your friggin' shot glasses ready. We're back in the UK.
Yarmouth.
At Great Yarmouth, a
Where
member
I
of
want
the
to live.
A member of the British Coast Guard spotted a giant black dog running up and down the beach. He said the dog's actions seemed odd since it would stop and stare off at the horizon before running to another location and doing the same thing. He said it was like it was looking or waiting for something. He found it strange enough to report it to his superiors, and the next day a freak storm hit and caused massive damage to the whole area.
Cue that scene in The Simpsons where the hurricane shows up and Homer is like, somehow the animals are always the first to know.
This is when the cat flies by the window, right?
I think it was Santa's Little Helper.
Yes, the dog flew by the window in the hurricane. Yes. And as neat as that sounds, and I've heard it mentioned on other podcasts, it really does sound like a stupid dog.
It sounded like he had the zoomies.
Yeah, and dude just like, that's weird. Storm hit. Shit, the dog.
The dog knew.
The dog knew. I was like, he's got to bring sticks. Now, America is no stranger to these.
We do it the best.
Yeah, well, no. But I found these in Unexplained.
Have we turned that into an option for the Supernatural Selection soundboard yet?
No, but I really want a Supernatural Selection soundboard.
You also have to have the laser bank,
Oh, yeah.
Pew,
yeah.
pew, pew, pew.
and a record scratch.
And that cat sound.
Oh, which one
Whose
is that
cat
one?
is?
That's Ginger.
Mike's
She's in my lap.
Mike's cat bothering right now.
She really wanted in my lap. So.
Yeah. She loves Mike.
And
Mike's
she's
just
currently
perfect.
causing me a lot of pain.
Yeah, is she gripping your leg?
Yes.
She does that. Phantom tabby cat.
Oh,
Why are you being so
she's so
vocal?
loud.
She
I
is.
think because I'm talking. I'm not normally talking when she's in
Yeah.
my lap.
Yeah,
Ginger.
don't you usually just sit in silence underneath a blanket between episodes anyway?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Barrett. So this one is from Pennsylvania in the 1950s. I do not have a specific date, but one night when I was a boy walking with friends along Seven Stars Road, which immediately I'm like, that is an awesome road name.
Mm-hmm.
A big black dog appeared from nowhere and came between me and one of my pals.
Isn't that a JoJo? 7 Stars Road?
Sounds like a secret world in Super Mario World.
Well, this has been in the book since the 90s, so I don't know. Anyway, big black dog appeared from nowhere and came between me and one of my pals. And I went to pet the dog, but it disappeared from right under me. Just like the snap of a finger, it disappeared. And I'm like, that's ballsy.
It's like
Petting
me
the
trying to
dog.
pet my cat when I get home.
Look, I did a carry out for a customer, and I was putting the box in the car, and there was surprise dog head out of nowhere. And my first instinct was to pet the dog.
No.
The dog's first instinct.
When you say surprise dog head, the dog head was attached to a dog, correct?
I assume so. I only have recollection of the head, but I went to touch the dog head because I was like, "Hey, it's a dog," and the next thing I know, my hand was in said dog head's mouth.
Yeah,
and I was like thinking, "Wow, that was really dumb. I'm glad this dog just didn't decide to just chew really hard."
Yeah,
it was just more of a ow, and it held my hand in its mouth, but it could have gone way worse.
Deep-throated your wrist.
And the fucking customer was like, oh yeah, he's back there. I'm like, you motherfucker. That could have been very bad.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, I should have said, hey, can I pet your dog?
Yeah.
But
well, this is like that story, one of my favorite dog
I was
jokes,
so surprised.
Which is a guy comes out of a store, sees a kid sitting on the sidewalk with the dog next to him, and the guy's like, hey, can I pet your dog? Does he bite? And he's like, he doesn't bite. Can I pet him? Sure. Goes to pet the dog. Dog bites the shit out of the guy's hand. It's like, kid, you said your dog doesn't bite. And he said, yeah, I know, but that's not my dog.
Well, it better be his dog. It was in his car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I have a question.
I don't know who that fucking dog is.
What's your question?
Could this dog drive?
Maybe. It was in the front seat because I was putting it in the back seat.
David, not every dog in a car is going to drive it. I'm sorry about your dream.
I'm sorry. That dream still has me rattled. I swear to God, I was so mad. I was so upset.
I keep thinking of Tombses.
Shoob is the driving dog.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, when I say I was upset, it was like 2 hours until I talked to my stepfather. Like, after waking up. I didn't talk to him for like 2 hours.
Wow, dude.
Fucking, let a dog drive. God damn, motherfucker.
Now,
what's wrong with you?
I was doing it, too.
Now, this is before you tried to transfer your soul into a Chucky doll, right?
No, this was way after.
Okay, just checking.
That explains several things.
Doesn't it? So, here's one, David, that you're going... Sorry, Mike, what?
I was going to say, you're damaged goods, bub.
Oh, God, yes. Yes, I am.
Your spare parts, bud.
Spare parts. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
So, David, here's one that you're going to love. It's from Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Woo!
From 1903.
Ooh.
Yeah, Hopkinsville's been weird a long goddamn time.
Right?
So, John Wangham was on his way home to Nevada, Kentucky, on his horse when he heard a dog howling behind him. And when he looked back, he saw a dog the size of a cow charging at him with glowing red eyes. Moo! He lashed his horse and rode as fast as he could. When he looked back, not only was the dog still there, it was keeping pace. As soon as he crossed the border of his hometown, from one step to the next, the dog simply vanished. It just stopped being there. Apparently, this happened in the area for a number of weeks.
So I just need to see a couple of goblins riding the back of a cow-sized dog, and then I can die happy, like warg riders.
I would really just love to see two goblins riding a cow.
That would be fun too.
You know, I was once. My dad was a mechanic,
right?
And he was fixing up someone he knew's go-kart. And you know, he's like, since we had a go-kart and he was fixed, he's like, hey kids, go ahead and drive it around a little bit. Just, you know, don't go crazy. So I was driving the go-kart around the neighborhood, and some dogs started chasing me. And those normal ass dogs were keeping up with this go-kart. So if they can keep up with a go-kart, I'm pretty sure they can keep up with a horse for short amounts of time.
Sure, but it vanished.
Well, yeah, these dogs didn't vanish.
No.
These dogs, this go-kart, for some reason stalled. I don't remember if it ran out of gas or what. But yeah, I mean, they caught me and they were like, that was fun. What are we going to do now? Because, you know, they weren't really trying to attack me. They just caught up with me and they're like, that was great.
Things.
Yeah, they chase things. Dogs chase things.
You were a rabbit.
Yeah, but, you know, once they got me, they weren't hungry. So they're like, I was scared as shit, of course, but
for some reason, I was really expecting you to be chased by a phantom black go-kart in this.
Oh yeah,
I feel a little
Is this Mario Kart?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, and so you're riding a horse. You're obviously the dog's beside you, right? Riding the horse, and
Wait, the
you're
dog's
not.
riding the horse?
Yes, the dog's riding the horse.
Just like that Black Panther.
But you're riding a horse. You're not going to be staring at the dog the whole time. You're like riding the horse. You're like looking up, making sure you're not going to run into shit because horses are dumb and they're known to run into things. So you're like looking at the dog, looking up back where you're going, looking at the dog, and then you look back and the dog's gone. Well, the dog lost interest and it just ran off, or maybe got tired.
Sure.
I just think it was a normal ass dog.
Sure, and that's possible for a lot of these.
Okay. Well, I have another story here. So this one was from that article. I really only had time to dig up like one article, but like again, I found a whole bunch. So we're gonna do this topic again at some point. So
Yes. With all new material.
exactly. So this fits in with the idea of the black dog as the harbinger of doom.
Oh, good.
So, quote, in the 1943 winter issue of the Hosier Folklore Bulletin,
Hey
Robert...
there, you hoser. Hey there, you hoser.
Yeah, exactly. Robert G. McGuire, a local journalist, recounts a curious story of a man named Johnny, who at the time of the telling of this tale was older. While a young lad in Detroit, and this is U.S. Detroit, Michigan,
Yes.
Johnny accompanied his mother across the Irish section of the city dubbed Corktown to visit her friend Mary. Johnny recounts, quote, "We'd not gone far before Mother said, 'Something's wrong, Johnny,' and a few steps after that we saw a black dog running in front of us. He was a great big son of a gun and all black as tar. First he'd run before us, then run behind us, but he never left us alone for a minute. We're turning back," says Mother, "for when my father died, a black dog ran along the roof and howled the whole night. The next day, someone murdered Mary. Witnesses cited a black dog at the scene."
Now, that's interesting. That is a whole other prospect we do need to tackle when we do this again. The concept of the black dog in family lines. Because that is a thing. I just couldn't find any references in any of the shitty books I bought.
You need to buy better books then.
I
Yeah,
do.
But this was the person's mother, but then this other woman that's not related.
They were visiting a
died.
family friend.
Yeah, so there was not the family line there.
Okay, fair.
Well,
Damn,
well,
I misunderstood
Well, no,
that.
if the
Still.
dog is attached to the family, like even that could probably the dog's going out, hey, your friend's going to die or something like that. I guess that could be explained that way because it's still the person in the family who is seeing.
But then
the dog.
why would the dog want you to see your friend that's gonna die?
I don't know. Maybe the dog's
Unless she
trying
was-
to. I
well,
don't know.
yes.
Quit asking me questions.
And saying the dog's kind of a dick because that was her last chance to see her friend,
Yeah.
and the dog kept her from it. And it wasn't like she was murdered at the time; she was murdered the next day.
Trickster.
So it was her
Trickster
last
shit.
chance to see
Trickster
her.
shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I just picture a black dog popping up, walking up behind you and going, "Psst, I'm gonna kill you."
I'm just saying that there was a lot of dogs around back then, and they probably were all black.
Because of the coal and the soot.
Yeah. They're dirty dogs.
They weren't washed very often.
So obviously a lot of these can be attributed to people seeing dogs. Just, dogs.
Dags. You like dags?
Some of them might be other animals misidentified as dog, like say, mind you, I don't know how you could misidentify a cow as a dog.
It was dark, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
Not
I've
really.
seen a cow run, all right?
Yeah, I know.
But the sheer number of these sightings begs the question, is everyone making a mistake?
Well,
Is it a spirit being guarding liminal spaces? Is it some kind of archetypal spirit that's been with us since the days we first allied with wolves? Is it a psychological thing shared by humanity, just an archetype in our collective unconscious? What do you guys think?
so here's the thing. It's kind of confirmation bias. Because if you see a dog and you're like, oh, that's just a dog, you're not going to say anything to your neighbors about it.
Right.
But if you see something like, oh, it's one of them phantom black dogs, you're going to tell everybody you fucking know about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, numbers game. Everyone that just like figures, oh, it's just a regular old ass dog, go about their day and never really think twice about it.
Yeah, and there's also, like, when tragedy happens, you tend to remember weird things and you look for patterns surrounding the event.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the presence of the black dog at, like, some sort of, and then a day later someone dies, like, you're going to remember that black dog. It's going to stick out to you.
Yeah, and we are a storytelling species, and we look for the narrative in our lives.
And if you have a tradition, like, your parents told and your grandparents told you about phantom black dogs, well, as soon as you see one that seems a little out of place, well, there you go.
I saw my own black dog.
Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
I do agree, but...
Yeah, so, like, I do think we have another episode's worth of material on this, because we didn't even really get a chance to talk about the Black Dog of Newgate Prison. For example.
Yeah, I saw that.
But who would send a dog to prison?
He was a bad
Texans.
Bad boy.
Texans. Texans would send it to prison.
That does sound like something they would do in Texas. So I have some more encounter stories that I found as well. So if we can stretch it to 3 episodes, I think we can call it our dog pack or dog run.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
But, all puns aside, I find the black dogs to be really interesting because they're still used for intense symbolism today. Like, think about, like, Sirius Black in Harry Potter or the Gamork in the Neverending Story.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, there's just something deep-seated in our cultural memory about the black dogs that still seems to be influencing us today.
I think just black animals in general, like look at black cats or black roosters, any animal, ravens, crows, any animal that is predominantly dark colored really sets us off.
Yeah, and when
true.
I was going through the database, I did see a picture that was talking about, like, black dogs and their relation to, like, black cats and lore, which makes a lot of sense. I also do want to throw out the thought that there are correlations between black dog sightings and claims of lycanthropy, which we'll probably need to mention when we tackle werewolves, and by which, I mean I tackle werewolves because I fucking love werewolves. So,
yeah, that's going to be another collab one because I have got some information about that.
So you were team whatever the other one is. I can't remember
Jacob.
their names. Yeah. Team Jacob.
The funny thing is, you say that, and I think of one of our coworkers, and I'm like, why would you side with him?
Well, Kevin, he's a skinwalker, which is pretty close to a werewolf.
Kind of. He's basically, his knee's been backwards.
I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast.
Probably.
We tell him all this stuff regularly.
He knows. This isn't us talking about him behind his back. We're just airing what
he's
we tell him
do you know you're a gross
super
freak?
look,
yeah, I know.
If he listens to this, he's a super great guy. Like,
yeah,
we told him to his face he was a skinwalker, and I was like, oh, yeah.
No, I bought him a Skinwalker Ranch patch one year for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And he was like, oh, this is great, man.
No, we all have those, like, little mean jokes about people we know.
But
they're said with love.
He's in on the joke.
Yeah.
This is the best part. He's in on the joke.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, no, I'm glad you found so much more material we can go into on this. And I am looking forward to tackling werewolf, skinwalkers, and dogmen.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to handle all that at some point in the future. And, of course, the phenomenon being what it is, we'll come back to werewolves in other stories as well. So overall, this has been chaos. I didn't have as much as I thought I would, and you kind of saved my bacon here, David. Thank you.
Not a problem. We didn't even get into the idea of, like, the werewolves really being like, or not werewolves, I'm sorry, I got werewolves on the brain, but the black dogs being like an extension of the Fae.
Oh yeah, no, we could get into that.
Yeah,
and we will eventually. But so we have questions.
Well, we got answers.
Do we? Do we really?
Well, we
Okay.
tend to pretend we do, and that feels a good 20
There
minutes.
we go. That's, yeah. All right, so first question is from Kick Acetron.
Yeah.
He asks, if a family of Bigfoots moved in next door, what welcome to the neighborhood casserole would you bring them?
Is Bigfoot's correct English, or would it be big feet?
It's Bigfoots.
Bigfootses?
Bigfootses. But if a family of them moved in next door, what would you bring as a casserole?
The only casserole I make,
Oh, the cheese?
baked corn.
Oh, the corn. Oh, God, dude. Mike
Don't-
makes this fantastic corn casserole with, like, cheese.
You say
and-
fantastic, but it's the most white trash
It really,
shit ever.
I don't give a shit, man.
I mean, it uses like a third of a pound of Velveeta. So
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
It's
no.
one of those.
yes,
Yeah, no, it is great, though, man. Dude, I made some myself one year and took it to college.
Now, the fact that
And-
you're talking about this thing and I'm getting hungry means this is why I
Yeah.
have health problems.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
no,
yes.
that is why we're gonna die. But, like, I took some of this to college for, like, Thanksgiving, and I'll come in there, and they're, like, scraping the crust out of the container. And I'm like, dude, don't damage my bowl-eating leavings. So, you make your corn casserole. David, what do you bring?
You know, I'm gonna take a page from my wife's cookbook, and I'm gonna go with a green bean casserole with shallots and mushrooms, and it's delicious. It's the best part of
That does
Thanksgiving.
sound pretty good. Okay.
She just went "aw" in the background.
Oh, that's sweet. So, I would bring this shitty casserole that I know how to make, where you take a
No, why
can
would
of
you bring them a
chili,
shitty casserole? You're trying to be gracious, man.
because it's the best I can do.
Oh shit. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, you take a can of Hormel chili, you dump it in the casserole.
Well, we got a
dish,
red
and you put
flag right there already.
Yeah, you put some onions in there. And then you take a can of Hormel tamales and you unwrap them and you put those down. And then you put another layer of chili and some more onions. And then you put another can of tamales on top
So
with onions. And then you cover that shit with shredded cheese.
It sounds
And,
good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then you bake it for like however long at like 350, 400, whatever. And bam, white trash casserole
It
supreme.
sounds
even
terrible,
less,
but delicious.
I know it's even worse than Mike's.
It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
Frito
white
pie, but
trash.
like even more white.
Yeah.
I mean, a casserole is not healthy in any way,
No,
shape, or
no,
form.
no.
It's
But
it's
that's
usually
why I
full
bring
of
'em.
full of fat. No matter how many vegetables you put in there, it's full of fat and other things.
I'm getting
probably
hungry.
a lot of like carbs.
I am dying of hunger.
This
thinking
is the
about this
second
stuff.
episode in a row where one of us has gotten really hungry talking about
Yeah.
something from a reader question.
Here's the thing. You know what else I would do with that casserole? Give them the business card for the local Roto-Rooter.
Ah, yes, they'll need
Oh,
that.
they're gonna need
Look,
it after
if they
that.
eat all of our casseroles, yes, they definitely clog
Well,
their
here's
toilets.
the thing. Mine would loosen it up. Yours, they would never shit again.
Yeah, all the Velveeta
Yeah,
and
no, the
cornbread.
Velveeta- Yeah, no. It's just
God, could you
fucking-
imagine being the Roto-Rooter guy and having to clear a Bigfoot shit out of a septic tank?
He's like, I'm sending my kids to college.
Well, let me tell you, I lived next door to a house with 12 people living in it for a while, and let me
Jesus.
tell you, the public access for the sewer was in my yard, and we got a lot of calls.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Wow.
So, thank you for the question, Gigasatron. That was a good one. So, Sam asks about the Phantom Black Dogs, where they want scratches.
I thought they were asking us where we wanted scratches.
No, it's about the dogs.
Well, why
where do
don't
they
we
want
answer
scratches? Okay. First off,
Keep it safe for
the
work.
dogs, I really think they would like a good head scratch. You know, that thing where the ears droop and they're just like, oh, God, yeah.
I mean, that's like all dogs, right?
Yeah, I know, but I think they would prefer that.
Yeah, somewhere like the nape of the neck, kind of going up, and
Yeah.
up and towards, like, between their ears. Yeah.
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 Mike, you going for belly rubs?
I was gonna say, the belly scratch where their like leg starts kicking.
Oh man.
Oh, but then
Things
they
the size
take you
of
and
a
they launch you
horse.
like 60 feet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like a fucking Dragon Ball move. You just crash through a fucking mountain.
All right, so now the answer to the real question: where do you gentlemen want to be scratched?
My back.
My neck. Never mind.
No, just the air's been really dry lately, and my back's been really itchy.
Oh,
I can't scratch it myself.
I'm gonna be honest. Like in my hair on the back of my neck.
yeah,
Like I almost get the wiggly foot.
that's the best part of getting your hair cut. It's like when they take the electric razor and they get the hair on your neck, where your neck and your shoulders kind of meet, and they shave that part, like it's scratchy and it feels wonderful.
You and I have very different opinions on haircuts.
Like you've never had like the barber who when they shave the back of your head and they go down to like where the neck, because I get hair on my neck. I'm a hirsute man.
I do. Okay, I get some, but like you gotta understand, my barbers for the most part, for most of my life, were very large white men that could probably shave a cow by putting them in a headlock.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Like, I used to go when I was a kid. We had a barbershop here called the Sportsman Barber, and they were like old dudes, but like what they do is they'd like shave the back of your neck, and it was great. It was like it felt good, man.
I've never been a fan of haircuts in general, which is why my hair is like well past my shoulders.
Yeah, you look
now,
like
and
you're
I have
writing a
ponytail.
manifesto.
I really, really do. I kind of look like Darryl from The Kids in the Hall.
I kind of agree with Kevin. Haircuts are like once the haircut gets going, it's fine. But
They're a
the
necessity.
whole like that's why I've been like cutting my own hair, because the prospect of having to tell someone what exactly I want and then them not quite understanding.
Well, these days
being
I shave my
disappointed.
head, so like that's
Oh,
easy
yeah.
for me.
Sure.
So I win, but
Yeah. Well, you and me have very opposite approaches to dealing with haircuts in that sense as well. You're
One's-
just like, fuck all of it. And I'm
One's
like,
laissez-faire, one's scorched earth.
yeah, pretty much. And the thing is, every time I want to get a haircut, people at work are like, no, keep your hair. Of course, they're all bald.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
got a lot of-
they're living
well-
through you.
yes.
yeah, they're living vicariously through my hair.
Several balding people who just shave their head.
Yeah. So, last question from Vemperor Ghost Forge, which I'm so proud he adopted that name. That's just great. I love it's Vemperor. So, would you want a phantom black dog as a companion? Why or why not?
Fuck yeah.
I mean,
David, you said yeah.
Yeah. Put a little saddle on it. Pretend I'm an orc. Yeah. That's my
Okay.
answer. That's my answer.
just
Okay.
gonna ride that black dog.
Great. So you want it as a conveyance and a pet.
Yeah. Like tell me you wouldn't love to have like a dog that was like big enough and had the temperament for like you to ride on his back. Like if you need to go to the store or something.
You know what this reminds me of? Battle Pug.
Ah.
The comic book, Battle Pug. Where it's a barbarian riding a giant pug into battle. Yeah. Mike, how about you? You want, you want one as a companion?
if it's adhering to all, I don't know. I mean, it may mean I'm gonna die. If it,
Just every
always
night it comes
around
to your
you.
bedside and just tells you you're gonna die.
but I
Oh
mean,
God, it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. Good night, Wesley. I'll probably kill you in the morning.
I mean, if a verifiable phantom black dog comes up and is like chilling, is like, yo, I'm gonna be your sidekick. I'm like, okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Am I in a
maybe kid like
fantasy book or something? What's going on here?
like yeah. It's like can you like help me commit crimes or
What
something?
anime is this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with no, just because like the distrust thing they're talking about. I get that. Like I don't think I could trust I wouldn't be friends with any dog that would have me as a friend. No,
Well, that's sad.
I shush. It's a joke. But the point is, I just don't know that I'd trust a phantom black dog. But like, if it showed up and wouldn't leave me alone, yeah, okay, that'd be kind of cool.
Now, Kevin, it's not because he's black, is it?
Ooh.
Take thy beak from out my heart. That was terrible. Oh my
sorry.
God, no!
So you have
dog.
you have a problem with the phantom part, or is it the dog part?
It's the phantom part.
So you like dogs,
I like eggs.
and you have no problem with the coloration.
No, you know me. I love my Mr. Conti Black Cat that comes in.
So it's just the phantom part.
Sure.
So you find it shifty and ethereal.
You remember that episode of The Simpsons where Mel Gibson was making a movie and Homer said the dog should be the villain? And it's like, how do you get that across? He says, I don't know, zoom in and have it like looking around all shifty eyed. That's what I just picture the dog doing. Just
Phantom
looking
Black
around
dog,
like all suspicious.
You know, we got two Simpsons references. We didn't get a Futurama reference in.
You know, that's because the only dog in Futurama worth mentioning is the best dog. Seymour.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
The dog that won him an Emmy.
Yep. Emmy dog. So that's our questions for the week. David, you got anything to close with?
You know, if you encounter a phantom black dog, you know, be kind. Try to give them pets if they want it, but if they don't want a pet, just ignore, just don't do it. You know, it's all about the dog's attitude.
Consent.
Yes.
Dog consent.
Dog consent matters.
Hashtag dog consent. Mike, you got anything you want to close with?
I guess I'm good.
Are you a believer now?
No.
Damn.
No. I'm going to be honest, after this episode, I'm not a believer anymore. So, I don't know that I really was to begin with, but Mike, you won me over with this one. This is all just people seeing dogs. So,
I mean, you know, there's probably mitigating circumstance. I'm not going to say that, you know, they're all just, you know.
It's all cows.
Yeah. But
Fucking cows.
Cows all the way down.
dogs do some fucked up things, man.
Yeah, no, dogs do some shit. I cannot tell you how many pit bulls and Doberman pinschers have chased me in my life.
Dude, I got chased by a dog once, in a house.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I was visiting my mom, and the guy she was staying with had a pit bull, and I walk up to their bedroom. It's dark, and I knock on the kind of side of the door that's open. It's like, hey mom, and I'll just hear grrr. And I seriously just time warped. I don't remember the intervening running.
Fucking no clip.
But I'm in the kitchen trying to climb up on the counter as this dog comes around the corner before the dude can grab it by the collar.
Jesus Christ.
Now, when you said you heard, I was gonna say you heard Fireball start playing.
No, it was just I literally heard grrr, and then I'm up on the kitchen counter.
It turns out as a very small, pissed off man. Well, anyway, look, that was our episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, you can find links to everything on supernatpod.rocks. You can even find a link to our Mastodon account now. You can find a link to our Patreon, our Discord, all that fun stuff. Yeah, that's about it, really. Yeah, fun episode for the most part. So, we will see you next week with the Weekend Weird. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye. What if it was a phantom black Snoop Dogg?
Hey, faux shizzle.
Who's a good podcast? Who's a good podcast?
Oh, who's a good podcast? He's a good boy.